hear that.
Made up movies, made up movies.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Made up movies, made up movies. Yeah, 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 yeah. Made up movies. Movies in your face now. Come and get an earful. Made up movies, made up movies.
Hello and welcome to Made Up Movies. I'm your host, Mike Kohler. With me, as always, is the sweet sassy to my molassie, Matt Shore.
Ooh. Hey everyone, I'm Matt Shore.
You put the sweet and sassy in my molassie. And this is Made Up Movies, where we review movies you may not have heard of, and you suggest them as well. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing.
You send us the jazz, and then we turn it into beautiful music.
Yeah, we take crappy jazz and turn it into actual songs. It's great.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you send us the jazz, and
Yeah.
we turn it into good Charlotte.
Yeah, we turn it into actual music, and
That Australians love.
and we marry Cameron Diaz somehow. Is that right?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Really?
I think so. I think it's either that or the Property Brothers. I can't remember. One of them's married too.
What?
Yeah.
Both Property Brothers are married to Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, it's Utah or something. I think it's weird.
Oh,
Yeah. So-
I taught Putty Tat. That's from Looney Tunes. So
I know. I've seen it. It's a good show.
Okay.
Too. It's a real show.
Fair enough.
Hmm.
Hey, I'm a little concerned about what we're going to be doing next week.
Oh yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest. Not to
So,
get too much show stuff.
so I'm going to Iceland, the land of grass and milk and honey and such, and for a week.
That's the World 6 of Mario 3.
I'm going to World 6 of Mario 3. A very difficult world.
Yeah, and you don't have a frog suit. I'm a little bit concerned.
And you're
how
slipping and
in those
sliding
environments.
everywhere, and
You're slutting and sliding, like you just said. I heard it. So,
but you
I'm
know
not
what? I
ready to
use
go.
my warp whistle, and I want to go there. So that's where I'm going.
So you should go to World 7, but you went to World 6. That's a rookie mistake. You want to go to Pipe World.
Pipe World is impossible, so I don't even go to Pipe World.
Pipe World is where it's at, man. You just
Well-
got to find that one middle pipe that's hidden there in that one level, and that's the way.
Just
out.
not a fan.
So-
Not a fan of Pipe World. Had too many bad memories of Pipe World, so I'm going to Iceland instead, and that's why.
Okay,
That's
fine. Well, I don't understand why you picked Iceland
Uh-huh.
of all the times places to go in the world. Seems. I mean, I thought
beautiful.
you'd go to Bulgaria if anywhere.
I'm pretty sure. I looked at Bulgaria on Priceline, and it said for some reason it's just blocked. It's blocked in my computer. It's very strange. I don't know what.
Yeah, they don't allow you to look at it.
Priceline's an evil company, by the way. Don't use it. I don't like them. But enough of that. But yeah, I'm a little worried. I don't know how we're going to do this show because I don't think Iceland has phones or internet.
So you can't record. So the show's canceled, I guess.
Yeah, we can't be in the
So
same
we're
room,
canceling
obviously, because I'm
ourselves.
going to be there by myself with my fiance. And
Well, how am I going to fucking do this then? I can't do it by myself. I can't use Detractor because everyone hates him.
You could use Detractor, but I don't.
I could, but the fan response has been that he is ear cancer and we're not allowed to do him anymore. So
Not a good response to Detractor.
not a good response.
That's
All
funny.
of our characters have been a big whiff
Oh,
so far.
jeez.
I don't understand.
Well, that's
Except Ribblety. Everyone loves him.
Who?
But Ribblety Pippins.
Oh yeah, everybody
everyone
loves
that
Ribblety.
guy.
That guy likes to
Everyone
party. Oh
loves
no,
him.
wait, that's Detractor who likes to party.
Yeah, Detractor. Everyone loves him. Whichever. It doesn't matter. They hate them all. It doesn't matter.
But rather than get, I actually thought ahead, Matthew. Rather than get a character, I simply, you know how I've been like working on computers and stuff recently.
Yeah, you're a real tech whiz.
I'm a real tech whiz. So what I did was I downloaded my entire consciousness into like a Siri type object, and I threw it in this trash can. So basically, you just need
What?
to talk to this trash can, and it'll respond as if it's me. Isn't that is that neat?
So instead of you, I'm just talking to a big pile of trash.
Well, you don't have to put trash in the trash can. It was the closest thing I had to hold.
Why did you choose trash as the vehicle for your soul and your consciousness?
Well, trash lasts forever. The dumps are going to last forever, and so will I.
Just like our friendship. So you're saying our friendship is trash?
No, I'm saying
This entire endeavor is trash.
I'm saying I am trash, and you can talk to me as such.
This is like the weird. You're like, okay, so I created some sort of god complex and put it inside a microchip,
Right.
And also, I'm trash. I have imposter syndrome. I'm
Right.
so
I'm
trash.
very humble in my genius. is what you're saying.
Okay,
Okay.
fine. How is this going to work? So this is like a surrogate you I use.
So
when
you
you're
just
not here?
you just ask. It's like, you ask questions in the affirmative, and it will respond as such. Like, let's say let's just try it out. Let's say you just did the intro. So go ahead, do the intro,
Okay.
and then see what
right.
it says.
Hi, I'm Matt Shore, and this is Made Up Movies. And with me, as always, is the Totoro to my tiny sleeping girl on my chest. It's Mike Kolar. How's it going, Colsey?
Hello, Matt. I am glad to be on this podcast as well as Michael.
It's pretty seamless. It's pretty seamless.
As Michael.
It's my consciousness, but it's still Say okay.
I'm impressed by the timing. It got the timing.
I know,
right. A little bit better
good.
than you normally do. To
be
honest, I was impressed by it. It had a high energy. I like that. But it seemed a little stilted.
Yeah. Well, it's still. I'm still working out the kinks, and I have to go to Iceland in a week. So.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
So okay. How about this? Try say something. Say one of your classic Shore jokes. See what it thinks about that.
Okay. Wow, I was at the movie theater the other day, and there was a lady, and she had these really big boobs, right? And she knocked over a whole drink container, and it went over my pants, so it looked like I peed my pants all day. So
Matthew Shore, you are such a goofball. Laugh.
It's really, see it, like it heard your joke, and it thought it was funny. Is that interesting?
Yeah, I mean, the joke wasn't good, and it sort of gave, the appropriate response for that.
He laughed. The machine laughed, so it's not.
I know. I feel like that was a little too right. I feel like you did a good job with this thing.
I know.
It seemed.
I said I'm a genius.
It seemed to be half-heartedly. It seemed to be half-heartedly encouraging me in the same way that you do. So yeah, I guess this could work.
All right. So I
think this could work.
Let's move on. Let's imagine we've watched a movie. We watched a movie.
Okay.
So you say something, maybe you didn't, maybe say something like something you didn't like about the movie, maybe like what was,
Okay. Oh man, this movie sucked. It was just a bunch of dumb bullshit sent in by random podcasters. I hated it.
I agree with you. That sequence from that movie we just watched was arbitrary and cliche.
So that's pretty,
Wow.
Pretty good.
He's a little smarter than you, it sounds like.
He's using words I've never heard before. I didn't know. What does arbitrary mean? Is that,
How does it know things that you don't?
Well, it's my subconscious as well as my full conscious. So
it remembers things that you have deleted from your own brain
probably.
to make room for more drinking.
Okay, well, I also taught to it can tell stories. Like if you tell a story, it can continue a story. So say
okay, so I was at Cold Stone the other day, and the 8-year-old who worked there was being a real bitch. So.
Yes,
continue that
part
story.
Of the movie reminded me of that time in college when we picked up a drifter in Streetsboro and we took him to the abandoned hog farm. And well, you know the rest.
Okay, you shouldn't know that.
It didn't.
You shouldn't know about that time. That's not. I don't want it to be bringing up the crimes that I've done.
I know. That was. I should have censored some of this, but say something else about it. Say something else.
Okay, so the movie, this movie was just like Star Wars, only there were a lot of gay scenes, and I was into them. I'm really into them, surprising amount. I was really,
yes.
I thought it was...
to continue my anecdote from earlier, that drifter that we took to the hog farm, remember you said we should systematically dismember them all night.
No,
and he's like, no, I got a family. You're like, I don't care about your fucking family. All I care about is bringing back an age of chaos. All hail Ball. Remember that? That was funny.
Okay, I told you my secret praise of Ball is not.
I'm so sorry. That was not something it was supposed to know, or
your subconscious is really fucking me over.
I blocked that out because we were so high on drugs, and I
this is selling you out too. We're both gonna
go to jail probably for that.
Someone's gonna use this episode as part of their true crime podcast and get a ton more listens than we do because true crime is
gets so
happening.
Many listens already. Okay. Well, we'll see it works. Let's just do the outro. Let's do the outro. Just rank the movie. Rank the movie.
How would you rank this movie out of 13 bunny rabbits? Would you say it's a perfect 13? Or...
I agree, Matthew. This movie was fine. Out of 10 possible points, I give it 6.
Okay, that's fine.
666, the mark of the beast.
Oh,
the
Jesus.
devil coming.
Okay, now
I
it's
can't
just
stop what's coming.
flipping
It's
out.
all
I don't know what to do.
They should have killed
God
the drip
damn.
queen.
Okay,
God
turn
damn
it
it.
off.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna turn it off.
I can't. I think you're just gonna need to cancel this Iceland trip.
I'm very sorry. I paid a lot of money as the thing, and I don't want to.
We all love Mario, but this is a little bit crazy. Why don't you just stay here with me? Just, call things off with your fiance, and we'll just hang out and do some more episodes.
I can ask. I'll float the idea, but it is like we're leaving tomorrow, so it's not gonna. I don't know if it's gonna.
Fuck. Okay.
I think you're stuck with this AI of me or something. Sorry, but sorry. I'm just thinking about that drifter. Should we do a movie? Do you want to get?
All right. Yeah. Let's just do a movie. Let's get out the bingo bongo spinner and
get it out here.
Spin it up here. So let's just give it a spin. Let's just pick one of our submitted movies from our listeners. Okay, there we go. And what the fuck? This is Tony Evans again. This is his third submission.
This guy's rigged the machine.
He is. It says here on the ball, haha, I hacked into this. What is all the hacking today?
How can you hack a bingo baller? That doesn't even make. I don't understand.
I don't know. Detractor did say he felt bad for smashing it before, so he was going to upgrade it somehow. I don't know.
It has a lot more buttons than it did before. I mean, but it's still.
Yeah, it looks the same. Only there's tinfoil on it. I didn't want to mention that, but Detractor's got like a 6-year-old's intelligence, and so I didn't want to it's like, what are you gonna do? It's like, he's showing me stuff. He found Dee Dee's coloring book and he's so excited. He doesn't know how to
I don't know why people dislike him. He's a cute little guy. I think
he's fucking adorable. I know. I think his voice is just grating. I can tweak that.
Yeah.
We'll bring him back someday. But, Smash Trivia tried to kill him, but we'll stop that. But this is another suggestion from Tony. He's out of the cooler. He waits until he's just out of the cooler, and then he comes back in. So the cooler is what we call it when you just got a suggestion in, so you can't get one in.
Give someone else a chance, Tony. Jeez Louise.
So this one's called, it has 2 names.
Okay.
Because originally they submitted this movie as Ghost in the Machine, but there was legal trouble because there was already a movie called Ghost in the Machine. So they had to, this was like a direct to DVD, it was like a whole legal battle, this movie apparently, but it's called Spirit in the Software.
Okay. Very much.
So yeah,
Ghost
they had to
in
change
the
it. Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, the premise is, in the world of cyberspace, the only options are hack or be hacked, but Danger Juransky, Keanu Reeves, so we got a star in this one, is about to face the ultimate computer virus, his own artificial intelligence. This is based off what we just went through.
That's so spooky. That's literally what just happened. I mean, my artificial intelligence is a little more advanced probably, but let's watch it.
Yeah, a little too advanced if you ask me. All right. Speaking of high-tech nonsense, let's put on our magic goggles and watch this movie real fast so we can review it in real time for our audience. Okay, flick. Whoa, oh, wow. Those are some effects. Okay,
yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
All right, well, that's that. Okay, so we just speed watched this movie. That was insane. It was a lot different than I thought.
Yeah.
There's a lot more body horror than I thought.
Yeah, so it was like was it Cronenberg? Did Cronenberg direct this? Or
yeah, it reminded me a lot more of remember that scene in The Matrix where they morph his mouth shut? It was 90% that.
I hate that
what it
scene.
Felt like.
I hate that scene, and I hate that movie because of that
as
scene.
a kid.
How can you talk if you don't have a mouth?
And how can you resist my kisses when you don't have arms?
You have.
And
I've never seen a hobbit so
back?
brave. Kiss me, Mr. Smith. Yeah, I remember the movie.
So yeah, Spirit in the Software. This seems like it was a pre-Matrix movie. It felt like it was a couple years. It felt like a '93, circa Dracula.
I don't know. Yeah, well, I was thinking,
Reeves.
did he make this? Did he make this instead of Lawnmower Man in this dimension?
I don't understand how he did this movie and then was like, "What a positive experience! I got to do the Matrix." It had to be that thing. It had to be that thing where it's like Will Smith was like, okay, I'm not going to do The Matrix because there's no love story and I'm all about love and hitting people.
Yeah.
And so he decided, so Keanu had to be talked into it or something. I don't know. But how
it's like Moon, where like, besides like, it's Keanu Reeves and himself most of the movie, besides like a bunch of other...
That's because he's talking to a Keanu. It's like the fake Kolar you invented.
Yeah, I know.
He's talking
it's eerie.
But again, it's like early 90s morphing Super Mario Bros. Movie CGI. So it's like a warped Keanu lawnmower man who's like Max Headroom on this screen. And it's like, ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. You know what it reminded me of too? Is that stupid Johnny Depp movie where it basically a similar thing happens. Yeah,
Transcendence. That movie's dog shit.
Yeah,
I said God
exactly.
shit.
It's God shit. That movie is God shit. I'm Kanye West. That movie is a motherfucking
That movie will
best.
fuck you up, dude.
We on an ultralight beam. This is some God shit. This is some God shit. It means everything.
And this is like, Keanu Reeves he's good as like the strong silent type, but he has a lot of
lines. Would you say Keanu is a good actor or a bad actor? Like if you had to qualify him overall, like just binary terms, good actor, ones and zeros, good or bad.
I don't like rating things as robots, but like as delivering lines.
You don't like to be given a robot's choice.
I don't like robot's choice. I would say, I love Keanu, so I have a bad time saying I don't feel good saying he's a bad actor, but he is very stilted, and in this movie it showed how stilted like his lines can be trying to play two characters at the same time.
I think he is a great actor who has trouble doing voices that are not his voice.
Right.
Like in Dracula, when he's trying to be British, it's maybe the worst thing other than like Ben Affleck trying to be Southern in Pearl Harbor. Like those are like those are like and like I'm trying to think of other bad accents, but like Cameron Diaz, who's married to both Property Brothers in Gangs in New York, trying
terrible
to be like
terrible accent.
It's just like certain people just can't pull off. We all wish we could. Like the kings of accents are the Brits, who can always play American somehow.
Right, because it's easy. You just drop the accent. It's easy.
Like in my head, what's his face? Batman. You just drop the accent. You just stop fucking around with your
imagine or talk like this. Imagine or talk like this. I just talk like this. It's simple.
I mean, that's the way fucking Christian Bale talks normally. He's I just hit my wife and sister, didn't I?
I hit him right good, I did. I'm a bad boy.
Every time I remember that, I'm like, I can't believe, like, you're my Batman, and you were so fucking British.
Rachel, I'm gonna hit you!
Rachel! He goes high up a little bit when she's
Can you do
exploding.
Batman in a British accent? Rachel, I'm gonna.
That just sounds like Penguin to me in the games.
It's not easy.
Batman, I'm Batman. I need a line to be able to say.
He doesn't say lines. He's a strong.
I'm vengeance. I'm the night. I'm Batman.
You sound like a drunk. You sound so drunk. You sound like drunk.
I got to get me flower girl to the church on time.
I don't buy it. I don't buy drunk. I don't buy British Batman. He's not threatening.
You swear to God? Why don't you swear to me then, innit? Come on. Come on, Jack the Ripper. You're my rogues gallery. I'm gonna take you to church on time, drop you from the highest belfry, innit?
You been at the pub all day? You smell terrible.
Don't try to suss out who me am. I'll tell you what, innit? Now, why don't we just get a pint of lager and we'll get... I lost it. Pint
Kippers
of lager.
and biscuits. That's the same.
Kippers and biscuits. That's instead of Robin, he has a sidekick named Kippers and Biscuits.
Come along, Kippers. Let's get the job done. We gotta catch the Riddler then.
He has a very posh Robin in little boy shorts played by Taron Egerton.
Yeah, he's just the fanciest boy.
He's just the fanciest boy, and it's played by like modern day him, not like younger him.
Yeah.
He's just like dressed in boy toy shorts in the classic Robin outfit from the 60s show.
Do you want this new outfit? No, this one's fine.
I think I got it. Kippers and biscuits. Oh, my Batman.
I got a hangnail. Oh, darn.
Oh, Batman, save me. I'm upsy downsies.
I like it. I take back what I said. I would watch British Batman for the fun of it.
But I think this is an okay Keanu performance, but
Yeah.
there's nothing special going on in this Keanu performance where I'm like, okay, well, like, let's rank some Keanu, because to me, you haven't played Cyberpunk 2077 yet, right?
No, it won't install. It says it's not available to install.
It will. I had to use all my Cyberpunk parts to make my consciousness
Yeah, that's
in the
real
trash
thing.
can.
Yes, PlayStations are pretty advanced, so not installed yet. I've
And
not
they're
played.
made from those like diamond computer parts you can only get when just the tiniest little child hands mine them out of an African mine. It's just like, well, you don't need them, but they just smell so. It smells so good when you open the game case.
It's like when you kill the food you eat. It's the same thing. It tastes.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And when one of the Trump sons kills the food I eat,
Yeah.
it just tastes so good.
delicious.
When I'm just like, and when it's like a little leopard steak, and I'm just like wrapping myself in the little leopard cloak,
Nom, nom,
like
nom,
I'm
nom,
Little
nom.
Red Riding Hood, and I'm just like, num num num. Oh, I couldn't eat another bite. I only had two.
To sidebar, I found out they have whale in Iceland, and I'm like, I don't know if I
Oh
should
my
eat it or not.
god! You're gonna go full Japanese, aren't you?
That,
I guess
that's
full
what I
Icelandic.
mean. That's what I said. It's like, should I do it or not? And I don't know. I don't know yet.
Well, is it like whale or is it like narwhal? Because if it has a horn on it, I think you can.
Oh,
eat
it's
it.
a
That's the
narwhal. I'll
American.
definitely eat it. I'll eat only that. But I don't know. I don't know.
Do you
I
think
guess I
in
should ask.
Iceland they have like a... I was just talking to my therapist about this. This is no joke. But I was just talking... I was like, Kolar's going to Iceland. And we're both just like sitting there thinking about... I'm projecting because my therapy sessions are much like this podcast where I don't let the other person have room to talk. And I'm just like, see, what do you think about that? Well, see, what I think about that is, and then I just like wax poetic. And sometimes I can hear him trying to get a word in edgewise, and I'm like, you talk, you go ahead for a second, you go
You're
ahead.
the one who pays him. He shouldn't have to. He should listen to your shit.
Oh no,
That's
it's not
his
that
job.
kind of therapy.
That's his job.
So it really is just having someone to dedicate it. I mean, it's basically you, but I just no holds barred.
Yeah, but you don't
Insane
record your
thoughts.
therapy sessions.
Oh, I do. I have to hold him accountable. Sometimes he'll be like, in my insurance code is, I'm like, I'm gonna need this later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need this later, ain't it? Can get
That's
the
kind of
leg up on
crazy
the old
That's kind of
bugger.
crazy that you record your all everything. You're like that guy from. You're like Mr.
Really?
Brainwash.
From
Mr.
Simpsons?
Brainwash over here.
Mr. Brainwash?
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, the guy from the exit through the gift
Stuff
shop?
from Banksy movie. Yeah, he recorded everything supposedly, unless it's
yeah.
just Banksy. You remember?
Yeah, that's just. I think that's all fake.
Yeah, it's all-
I
it's
feel
gotta
like
be all
that
fake.
movie
It's all
is all fake. Just like Disneyland, man, or should
I
I, say
know.
Dismal Land?
I know.
Nailed it.
So cool. Anarchy.
Satire.
What were you saying about Iceland though?
So we were talking
your
about like,
therapist.
what is Icelandic food like? How is Kolar going to survive? I
Yeah.
assume you're just going to have plenty of Icelandic beers to weigh you down. Because
Sure.
I feel like Nordic food, is that Nordic? I feel like
It's Nordic, but it's also like here's an interesting fact about Iceland because I've done some research. They didn't have, beer was illegal till 1989. Isn't that crazy?
you're gonna open a beer at a bar, like it's just a bar with no food, and everyone's just gonna be staring at you,
What are you
daggers in
doing?
their eye.
Yeah, but I think it was because I think it was like below a certain abbreviation. Like you couldn't go above like 2%. It was something crazy where it's like, well, it's not even beer really. Can't get you drunk. But that's something. But so it's so
That's
they also have
What kind of food?
like
Yeah.
it's a lot of seafood. It's a lot of lamb. Like there's this hot dog place that is famous for their lamb dogs.
Hot dogs.
hot dogs.
Okay, lamb dogs. Okay.
Like lamb
I was
dogs,
going to say, I'm imagining like a big restaurant shaped
Right.
like a hot dog, like where Cartman lives on that.
Yeah.
Movie I just
Like if
watched.
you go to Chicago, you want a Chicago dog. If you go to Iceland,
Right,
you
with
want
the pickle on
a
it.
Reykjavik lamb dog is what you want.
Reykjavik lamb. Oh my god! Please take pictures of every insane street sign and
Oh,
road
it's gonna be
sign
great
you see.
because all their words are just a bunch of letters smashed together.
It's just crazy. Okay.
Oh,
I'm very
also they
excited
have.
about this
Sorry,
trip.
One more thing. They have fermented shark soup, which Anthony
Okay.
Bourdain said was the worst thing he's ever tasted. And that guy eats anything. Or did eat anything.
That's my point. Is that like, yeah? I mean, he ate that bird in France.
and he was
where you have
fine
to
with
wear
it.
the
He was
veil
fine
over
with
your
it.
head. If you don't know what we're talking about, there's like a bird, like a whole bird that you eat in France, and it's apparently such a shameful meal that you're supposed to traditionally wear a like napkin or a kerchief over your face so that no one can see you eat. They parodied it on Atlanta this season too. Anyway,
But,
I
I won't be
you
trying
gotta-
that, I don't think.
You got to report back when you come back about just like.
Oh,
what
I
the
won't be
food
coming back,
was.
but yeah, I will. I'll tell you about it.
I mean, please come back. I need
I don't want
this. I need
It's
this.
the-
This is second
to
therapy.
continue about Iceland, it's the only countries where they actually sent the bankers to jail in 2008 after they destroyed the economy. Is that interesting?
Wow, that's a little un-American.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's the only place in the world where they actually punish people for their misdeeds. It's crazy.
I don't like that. Given our drifter history in Streetsboro, I don't know if you want it. They're just going to be waiting for you at the airport now.
He didn't have a
Yeah.
family. Who cares? He didn't have a name.
I imagine that the food is like worse British food. I imagine
That's what
looks
I
like
thought.
it
That's
has-
what I think, and I'm worried about. But also, from everything I hear, it's actually very good. So I'll let you know. But yeah,
Okay.
to me, it's like, is this gonna be British food? Because British food's not good.
I imagine that like you're gonna get food that tastes mediocre, but like gives you some energy burst. I imagine in my head you're going to like Hyrule, and like you're gonna like you have to eat like the ancient medieval food that they eat, and for whatever reason they're like, this is what a man eats, you know, and it's like, and so you're gonna
I'm
feel
a
like,
man.
wow,
Then eat up.
this tasted really mediocre, but you feel like you've just been invigorated. And I also feel like you're going to go to like hot springs and all these bachelor places and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just like the views you're going to see.
Yeah, it's mostly about looking around and stuff. I think it's about looking around and saying, "Wow, that looks that look at that. That's crazy."
Please try to film comedy sketches while you're there of you just being disappointed with everything you see.
I'm going to film a comedy sketch where I pretend to almost fall into a thermal hot spring all the time.
Oh my god!
Oh god! I almost got burned to death. Oops. Uh-oh.
just like stern Icelandic people not happy about it.
Whoa! 100 degrees Celsius. That's pretty hot. Uh-oh. Just kidding. I'm fine.
Or maybe you trying to do the leaning, or what is it, the Leaning Tower of Pisa bit with different
in front of
things
all
that
of
don't-
their other monuments.
Yeah, with just like random buildings and stuff, and be like, it's Leaning Tower, and they're like, what? What are you doing?
I love the pizza here. It's so good.
Tony Pepperoni.
Yeah, look at these Tony pepperonis over here.
All right,
Yeah,
let's,
I'm going to
let's
disrespect
get
the
back to
hell out
film.
of their culture. It's going to be great.
I was really pleased with us for like doing a bit within like actually like the first 10 minutes mostly this time, and then we just like sidebarred with Iceland for so long.
Sorry, I'll talk
Welcome
about
to
it
the
more
podcast.
when I get back. We'll talk about
We'll
a whole
eventually get
episode
to the
about it.
premise. Yeah, we'll do a whole episode. We'll do Kolar in Iceland, and then we'll do it with some movie we don't want to talk about much.
I mean, if you've seen one Keanu Reeves movie, you've seen them all, and this is no different. Except
Well,
it is a little different.
Okay, what I wanted to say about Cyberpunk is that the difference between in most Keanu movies, he doesn't say a ton of he rarely has like
Right.
long monologues.
Yeah.
And this movie is sort of this like this movie has voiceover with Keanu Reeves, but it's that stupid. It's almost like Spark, where like he's like, life is a lot like a computer.
Yeah.
You never know what you're gonna get.
It's like, is that Forrest Gump? And he laughs.
Microchips are, something very small can have a major impact.
It's
A
like
circuit
it's
is
like
just
if
like a
it's like if
circulatory
Keanu's
system.
character in The Matrix never left his little apartment. Is what it kind of reminded me of. It's
right,
like,
and instead of like the mysteriousness and having like Morpheus there to explain things, it was just like inside his head, giving this like bad cut of Blade Runner, like nonstop. I didn't know what was going on. It did feel like a bad cut of Blade Runner. Like they put the voiceover in afterwards to explain what all these long, boring scenes were.
Like how many cuts in this movie are there where they need to add the?
I feel like there's a million of them, because that's the thing is like. What we don't say a lot about the goggles is that they beam in IMDb trivia into our brain at the end as part of the credits thing. And like, almost like we're watching it on Amazon Prime, only it's like being injected into our retinas.
It's like VH1 pop-up, except you can't turn it off.
Pop-up video.
Yeah, it's pop-up video.
But one thing I did, and this is something that's part of, this is all on Tony's like tiny bingo bongo ball. It said that there's like, okay, so I said there were 2 titles with this, right? So Spirit and Software, Ghost in the Machine. So it was originally called Ghost in the Machine, but there was another movie called Ghost in the Machine.
Right.
And someone else had the rights to that title or something like that. And so they had finished the movie. They had finished a cut of this movie that was like scheduled for theatrical release, and then it got put on hold because this other studio sued them, and they're like, "You can't do that. You can't." And they're like, "We already have all we did all the market." Like they waited until the last. I think it's because
real dicks about it. Yeah.
They did it in a way that was specifically to sabotage this movie because they felt like this movie was going to be a direct competitor, like it was a Truman Show EdTV kind of thing. Even though I don't think the 2 premises are entirely the same.
Well, I think they were worried about Keanu because he was becoming like his star was so like shining so bright and on this upward rise during that time. So it's like this movie's going to destroy Ghost in the Machine. I guess.
Right. But in neither of these movies made a cultural impact at all. But specifically, the real Ghost in the Machine, the one that sued Spirit and the Software, was basically they're like, we need to take this thing to court. So they put in this protracted legal battle. Ghost in the Machine gets to go forward because they definitely have the rights to it. But they basically make them recut the movie, redo a bunch of the the title effects. They have to scrap all of their existing marketing and stuff that they were about to run. I heard that even there was a TV ad for this movie that ran that they had to cut. So there are, if you go on YouTube, in this dimension anyway, if you go on YouTube, you can see a Ghost in the Machine trailer for this that made it onto like primetime TV, I think during Home Improvement.
Yeah. Home Improvement was big in the 90s. Everybody loved that show.
Oh, yeah. It was so important. It was culturally, it's just as important now.
Keanu said spirit a lot, and he must have originally said ghost, because whenever he says spirit, it looks very strange. So I don't know if they recut something or
my
reshot
God,
something.
You're right. Sometimes I'm like, I can't tell what's going on because, because sometimes...
There's a spirit in the software, is what he would like. It's like,
well, because it's him talking to the Lawnmower Man version of himself in the machine, and like when it seems like they didn't even redigitize the Lawnmower Man version of him correctly, because both of them, it just looks like they ADR'd it and put in a new line over it. It's like it's hard when it's a 2-syllable word over a once. It's a ghost.
If anything,
like
Lawnmower Man should have sued them because it was way more like Lawnmower Man than Ghost in the Machine.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think Ghost in the Machine stars Winona Ryder or something like that. Or something
Keanu
like that.
Reeves' ex-wife.
Really?
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up at this point.
Keanu Reeves' ex-style consultant. And,
no, I think she dated everybody. She dated Johnny
Depp.
She dated Keanu Reeves. She dated Brad from Home Improvement. She dated all of them.
As long as she didn't date Al, because that guy's a sweetheart, and Richard Kind has done nothing wrong.
Are you saying Winona Ryder's not a sweetheart? Have you seen Stranger Things?
I haven't finished it. I haven't finished all the new ones or started all the new ones.
Yeah, it's not. But I haven't watched it either.
I've liked what I've seen of it. I just haven't started the new season. But Winona's good. I can't separate her from like the shoplifting thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Why she do that? She's so rich.
I think she just gets a thrill out of it. I don't know.
She gets a thrill out of stealing. I get it. I get thrill kills, but I don't understand stealing. So
okay, we can't keep bringing up the Streetsboro.
Oh, sorry.
Streetsboro Drifter. There is no drifter because
there's no drifter.
If drifters aren't even people, so how can it be murder if it's not even really?
But so he's a hacker. essentially, and he basically did what I did, where he creates an AI of himself.
Right. But, like, he's... Okay. So much of this movie is taking place inside his own apartment, like you said, and it's super dark in like a Matrix-y kind of thing. But the one thing, like you were saying, that there's a lot of moments where his lips don't quite match what he's saying, because the ghost spirit thing. But what I wanted to say is that about Cyberpunk is that in that game,
okay.
This is related to Keanu. You spend like 40 hours with Keanu.
Man, you're just like maybe I'll play it right now instead of going to Iceland.
He's just there. That's like the thing I feel like, because in a lot of, like, in Far Cry or something, it's like the celebrity person will just be there for cutscenes and they'll pop in every once in a while. In this, it's like, I'm trying to think of a game. What's a game where, like, you have, like, a sidekick who's always talking to you? Oh, like in Legend of Zelda or something, like the fairy who's just like, hey, listen, that's Keanu Reeves. He's just always there.
Well,
but he's not being annoying. He just pops in because he's, like, embedded in a chip in your skull. And so he's like, hey, how's it going?
He's like Cortana, except he's John Wick. I like that.
Yes, he's like Cortana, but he's cooler than John Wick, because it's the first time I've ever seen Keanu play a character like this. He is a terrorist rock star in this movie. And he is so cool and so badass. It's probably my favorite Keanu Reeves character. Okay. And you spend 40 hours hanging out with him. And it's like, I think he's a tremendous actor. I think, like, getting to spend this much time with him in a character he fully realizes is so different than how they normally cast him in these movies, where he's like, I have to say 3 things and I just shoot a lot of people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But you're saying those movies are bad? Because I said those movies are great.
I don't think those movies are bad. I mean, I love John Wick, but like, I love all 3 John Wicks. I think they're really great movies. But I find them visually, they're some of the best action movies of the modern era.
You're saying he does have chops. He just hasn't been given the proper vehicle to express those chops.
I'm saying maybe the proper vehicle to express his chops of why he's so cool is spending
40-hour video game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like, I don't really want to see him, like, I can't, or maybe a TV show is the way to do it. Yeah. Like, have him play a rock star, play that character in a TV show and get to hang out with him for that
He's
long.
Beyond that. He won't do TV for a while, probably.
Of course. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, he doesn't need to do that. But I'm saying, like, it allowed me to access a different side of Keanu that I never appreciated. I always thought he was kind of a joke until John Wick, because I was like, oh, he's just sort of surfer dude, whatever. Like, he's not bad. I love Speed for as crazy as it is. But, like,
Speed's good. I think I liked him since Speed. I like The Matrix a lot. So it was really just the jokes about... It was just the jokes about Bill and Ted, I think, was like, oh, that's who he is. I love him
in Bill and Ted, though. I love those.
I know, I love Bill and Ted movies. But I'm saying, like, people are like, oh, that's who he is. He's not acting. He's just this.
He's not capable of anything more. And when you put him in these dramas, he's just sort of there. It's like, I don't think of Neo as a, like, incredible. I think of Neo as an outfit and a CGI set piece. I don't think of him as a brilliant, fully formed character. But
he's Jesus. Did you not get the metaphor?
Right, but I feel like it's another movie like John Wick where everything's around him is happening and he's just there looking stern. And like
yeah, because he's evolved past that. He sees the ones and zeros. He sees all the zeros and ones.
Johnny in Cyberpunk is a fully realized character who's an asshole. He's a musician. He destroyed a lot of people's lives, both literally and metaphorically. And he sort of is lovable at the same time. He is maybe the most nuanced and interesting character that it's like, what if Keanu Reeves was playing Bender as a rock star, kind of? It's just like,
I'd like that. Are you saying he's up for the Oscar this year?
I'm saying he should be. I'm saying, like, it's another reason, like, because of all the bad shit that happened with Cyberpunk, there was a whole thing, if you don't know anything about it, it launched in a way where it was completely broken on last-gen consoles, and so no one could play it. The PlayStation Store recalled it, basically. It was a whole big thing, and so any good buzz this game had, coming off The Witcher 3, it was destroyed. But the current gen version of it and the PC version of it, I mean, like, it's not the best story in the world, but as a Keanu Reeves best friend simulator, it's amazing. It's really amazing.
I'm on board.
but again, to bring it back to Spirit and the Software, this is another movie where it's just, and it's like you'd think you get to see two versions of him, you know, doing battle with each other, but even the computer version of himself is just sort of like a dick. He's not really like,
and it's also strange because, like you said, any characters they add almost immediately are killed Cronenberg style in a gruesome way. Like, they come to his apartment and then they get stabbed with spikes from his chair via this AI.
Yeah, because he has like a Matrix or Ready Player One like jacking in unit where he can like fly through the metaverse and like access all these files and stuff. And so people come in, but like suddenly basically it's so stupid, but the AI the AI finds out that it can like the whole thing is like it starts with these like long like the opening sequence is like flying through this metaverse, and he's like literally a CGI version of Keanu like flying Big Lebowski style through all these files,
like this green, and it did look like the Matrix a little bit.
It looks like the CGI virtual reality from the Community episode where he's like and Jesus wept. It looks like that. But he basically I said basically again. You can tell I'm stalling. Basically get those basically t-shirts in the chat. Let's go. Get those chats going. We have a chat, right? Get that chat going. Get those emojis out. Get that
he's flying and he ends up at a virtual version of the White House. And you're like, this is fucking silly.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then he flies through the halls and he's like he doesn't have real guns. He has finger guns. He's pointing his guns like fingers, and all these like virtual Secret Service guys are exploding into
particles. I guess are like represent like spyware, I guess, because they're clearly
is that what it's supposed to be? That's crazy.
I think so. They're not real people. They're just spy.
And then he sees himself fly into the Oval Office behind the desk, and he's like, and sunglasses drop down on his face, and it just is winner.
And it's basically like if a 6-year-old described to you what hacking was, and he was like, well, you just go into the computer.
You a dream he had after drinking like too much Kool-Aid and playing nothing but Saints Row or some shit.
Yeah. It's like, but then he jacks out. Is that right? He jacks off. He jacks off the computer.
He jacks in, he jacks off, he jacks out.
And he has all this information from, like, he has all these secret files from the government. From, I guess.
Yeah, how did he do? Yeah, so are we to understand that that is what the government.
That's hacking.
That's the government's. That's what the FBI's crime, database looks like. It's a virtual reality White House that you can fly through, and if you just happen to finger enough Secret Service dudes, you can get the files and run away. And like
90s,
also you get a high score.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's like in the Net, the Sandra Bullock movie, where it's like, "What's your internet number? I want to call you."
Yeah. It's like they're just making up things because like people know what the internet is. You can say whatever you want back then.
It's always some Harvey Weinstein dude being like, "It's computers. They don't know what computers is. It's magic to them. Just do whatever."
Fly in the States. They're stupid as hell. They seriously use a rotary phone. I got a phone in my car.
It's internet. It's computers. But there's this metaphor during these VR flying sequence where he's like, his voiceover is like, our brains have electricity too.
Yeah,
and
he's explaining as this whole thing is happening. He's explaining this in this long monologue.
Our brains are like circulatory systems, and circuits have circulatory systems. Is the human being not just a machine? A machine programmed
just
to
talking,
fight,
talking, but
kill,
saying nothing.
Dance, love. But like he's saying, this is all so they don't have to explain how the technology, how the virtual version of himself that he invents. Is able to download itself into non-mechanical human brains.
Yeah.
Because basically the AI person starts taking over human bodies, and like it can only because Wi-Fi isn't a thing yet, they make this big thing of like
router.
Yeah, the router. Oh my god, it is okay. So at one point he has like a girlfriend, right? It's his girlfriend, right? It's not his sister. They have there's
there was
so
no
little
chemistry.
sexuality.
I think it was his girlfriend, but it very well could have been his sister. But there was zero chemistry.
She's like, I don't know who this actress is, but she looks like sort of like a Law and Order cop show actress with little charisma, I guess. And she is like, she comes in and it's like clear that they're supposed to go out on a date or something. And she sits in his jacking in chair while he's like shaving or something.
Yeah.
And the thing gets inside her brain.
Yeah.
And she becomes sort of like a Terminatrix, like in Terminator.
Right, she stands up and she has like a one red eye, and you're like, what the
I am Detractor.
Yeah, basically Detractor. And you're like, oh, I get it. She's evil now. She's evil, and she has
it's
the AI
what
in her.
Detractor would do if he got a human body. He's like, it seems cute. And then it's like, finally, time to fuck shit up. Let's party.
Yeah.
But like, she... but the first thing she does when she's in when I mean it's him, I guess. Okay,
Yeah,
the first thing
AI.
the AI does inside his girlfriend's body is steal the router.
Yeah.
and then it becomes a chase sequence where Keanu is running down city streets in like Manhattan or something.
It's like
I don't know.
they had to add it. I don't know if Speed came out around the same time or what. They're like, we need this. They could have added it after they got sued. Honestly, who knows?
I feel like this has to be pre-Speed because there's no way he would have agreed. I mean, maybe he's just too nice. I don't know.
He'd agree to anything. He's such a nice guy.
He's such a nice guy. You're breathtaking. He's chasing his girlfriend. Like, to everyone who's just watching the sequence, he is this two incredibly
crazy.
pale goth people, and like one of them is just this chick who's dressed like she's going to like a goth rave.
She looked
with
like
a
the
router
girl in the
under
dragon
arm.
tattoo,
Yes, she did.
but like paler and like with like
just these two
like
pale
very blonde
goth
hair.
like cyberpunks chasing each other down the street, and one just has a router underarm. And so, but my point is the way that she has, because there's no like, it's a big thing where she has to jack in with the router. Like, she can access the internet so long as she takes this router and plugs it to any phone line. It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. But
Well, it's like in the Matrix where you pick up a phone line and that's how you get out of the Matrix. I think it seems similar to that.
Right. Yeah, it does have that sort of thing. Yeah, in the Matrix, I don't understand how the Matrix works, but that's a whole other. It's
It's all ones and zeros, but to me, it's just redhead, blonde, brunette. That's all I see.
Oh my god! You ever eat a steak on weed? No, that's not how that goes.
She was a whore, Tony. It's the same guy.
What's his name?
Joe Pantaleone.
Joey Pants.
Great actor.
Yeah, he's pretty great. He's one of those guys as a kid, I'm like, ugh, what a sleazebag. It's because he's really good at playing
he's so good at
sleazebags.
acting. Yeah, he is such good sleazebag.
Like, there's no question. It's like, oh, that's that guy.
Yeah, I got the bad guy.
But like, my point is that the way the AI, when it can't connect to a router, but that's the thing. You'd think it would be able to pop back into cyberspace at any point, but it doesn't want to do that. It wants to exist in meat space and cause havoc for whatever reason. Like, it just wants
chaos.
a body. It makes no sense. No. I think it's just because, like, in this world, their imagining of what the internet is so limited. It's like this vast wasteland with different outposts. It's like Borderlands, and it's like each outpost has like the government secrets.
Right. It's like their version of like, well, if the singularity happens, this is what's going to happen. Computers are going to become humans.
It's going to run
and
around and steal your fucking router.
Yeah.
I have your router now. You can't go online, bitch.
And push kids into traffic, and that's what it's going to do.
Yeah. She pushes a kid into traffic, and he has to he doesn't save the kid, he just checks on him momentarily. Are you okay? Okay, cool. He's like, no, come back.
I'm a kid, and I fell into the street. It really hurt.
But, like, she runs into a coffee shop and is trying to jack in, but she doesn't have enough time. Right. And so,
connecting to the internet wasn't instantaneous back then. You weren't always connected.
She's like waiting for the dial-up sounds. It's like a race against the clock with the dial-up.
Yeah, and he tackles her, and everybody's like, "What the hell are you doing, Keanu? You can't just tackle your."
He was too late because right before Keanu tackles her, she kisses this random dude at the coffee shop, and for some reason, the tongue kissing. They like do a zoom in on their tongues touching and do a CGI electric spark.
And it's very gross and graphic and very.
It shows it like somehow transfers the AI via tongue port.
Spirit in the software, you might say, is what happened. Because that's literally what Keanu says. He says, "Oh no, it's the spirit in the software."
You're saying I'm some sort of ghost? I mean, spirit.
Spirit in the. It's like she's like, why? But she doesn't. She has no memory of it. She's like, "Why did you tackle me? I thought I thought you loved me." Yeah, it's very.
Yeah, and then everyone's getting on his case while the new guy who kind of looks like Kip from Napoleon Dynamite like walks out. With
the router, and he gets
with the
away.
the router. And that's how he gets, then it becomes like the chase to get him later. But like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, the whole thing is like based on this like idea that they're having these conversations earlier, him and the AI. And originally, the idea is that he is like too much hacking to do. He's sort of like Neil Breen in Fateful Findings. He just has too much.
He needs
too
to
many
unload
secrets.
some of this. He needs to unload some of his work to somebody else. So who's better to do that than himself? Right?
But a slave, a robot, just like you treat the tractor.
I mean, it worked. It just knows all my secrets, which I didn't realize I had so many. It's a problem.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, he created this like, it's basically what we use like automation for. It's like, oh, I got to go to sleep now. You keep running this thing.
If you had no filter and you didn't care about anything, all you care about is doing your job. You'd be an evil corporation, or in this case, an AI, right? Like you're trying to get more and gain more and become more powerful, and that's all it is.
Yeah, but like
classic
the
AI.
way they write the AI is not like a robot. They make him like the AI is somehow smarter than him, but not in a like Ultron kind of way. It's like he's like they have this conversation where it's like, you're telling me you're some kind of spirit. Like you're not just. He's like, yeah. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm more than human. Maybe I can float between worlds.
Right. He has a god complex because he's so powerful. It's classic.
But it's unclear why he thinks he's powerful, because the world he has control over is so rudimentary and like badly animated.
That's why he thinks he's powerful, because he's better than this
he's
shitty
fucking
world.
Dumb. He's like Trump. He thinks he's like all powerful because he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know any better.
He knows all of the 56 kilobytes of information the internet had at that point, which is a lot.
He doesn't know his login to his online banking because someone takes care of that for him, but he just turns to an assistant and goes, "Hey, I'm still rich, right?" I'm like, oh yeah, you're still rich.
Yeah, you're rich. You're rich. Just don't look into it.
I'm still rich. Huh. Cool. I'm rich. So he basically has to, like, it becomes a race to the real White House in the end, basically, because they just want to create some sort of harmonic bookends on this thing. But like the robot in the brain, the spirit in the software keeps robot in the brain is a much better title.
It's a pretty good title.
Robot in the brain. I'm saying in the brain.
Why does my head hurt? I feel like I got a robot in the brain.
Well, it's like the. Okay, do we want to talk about how the robot has gay panic because it's the 90s and the robot has to transform? It has to be
because it when they won't kiss another guy, but it
won't. It has to find a lady. Yeah, it has to find a lady to kiss because it refuses to kiss a guy.
And I think it ends up kissing a dog instead, and it's like it's like, Jesus, just kiss a dude. What's the problem?
Yeah, and there's a sequence where in order to break the apparently electric fence outside the White House, the dog pisses on it and it short circuits the fence. And that's how he gets inside, and he digs his way in.
They make it seem like it's so sneaky and genius of this dog to do that.
Well, then the Secret Service guys in real life are like, "Hey, there's an intruder. Hey, don't shoot that. It's just a dog.
A little dog. A little lovable dog."
But they don't catch it either.
And then
like, let it roam the grounds.
They'll let it roam the grounds, and then it goes in and it licks the president's face. And the AI is now the president, which is, not good.
And the president's just like the boring white. It's Joe Biden. It's like it's like a younger, more handsome Joe Biden because
it's Joe Biden before dementia. It's Joe Biden.
Yeah, it's Joe Biden at this time in actual 1993 or whatever. Yeah. And like then he becomes the president, and so the real Keanu is like racing to get get there.
Whoa! Where you going there, hotshot? It's like I gotta save the president.
I've got to either save or kill the president. And then...
What'd you say? What was that second thing you
said? No time. I'm a hacker. He's a hacker. Let him in.
Let him in.
And then the robot president's like, come on in. And he's like sitting behind the desk. He's like, well, I've finally done it. I've finally become the real president, just like in your fantasies. I think you'll see I'm the superior, version of you now. And he's like, if you're so superior, how come you've never made love? And he's like, what? He's like, why don't you make love to your wife now? Then you'll know what it truly means to be human.
Yeah.
And then we watched like the president make love to his wife with the robot in his brain.
Well, because you forgot to mention the robot barricades like the door shut like with wires and like it's almost like it's like Akira kind of.
it suddenly has the power that it never had at any other point in the movie. Yeah. Even though it is now in the president's. Apparently, it's like the Green Lantern theory of president. Now that you're president, you have untold power and can do whatever the fuck.
Well, it's like that's why they let Keanu in instead of because it's like he's basically Akira sitting in his like chair and he's like just super powerful.
Well, yeah, but like, why would being in an old man's brain give you new tech powers?
I don't know. It doesn't. It's just like the idea that the president is super powerful. I guess it doesn't.
Right? Yeah, and again, it's like nonsense computer. But yeah, it's like once Keanu's in there, wires come out of the walls of the oldest fucking building in America or whatever, and like and crisscross and create like a
Tetsuo, not Akira. Sorry, I always get that guy.
Canada. Tetsuo!
Call Canada! We need help!
So, yeah, but, like, it all boils down to them having this conversation that's like, you could never... It's like, because the robot thinks it will do a better job of running the country than any human ever could.
Yeah, but like, he wants to starve half the population or something, which is like what all AI always wants. It's like, well, if we kill off all these people, it'll be better for the other people. That's always their solution.
The wealthiest 1% must thrive. Oh no, it's a Republican AI.
This guy really gets America. This robot really understands.
We are spending too much on welfare systems. All of these people are spending food stamps on lobsters. This Tucker Carlson has some interesting ideas.
I believe he says welfare queen, which I think was the first recorded term of welfare queen in a movie, and I probably ever.
He's just trying to like justify Republican talking points in real time. But Keanu's like, see, that's where what I did appreciate was that Keanu seems to imply that all of these Republican talking points that the robot has makes him inhuman.
Yeah.
That
was nice.
He's like, if you become a real human, you need to spend 24 hours just living as a human. Then you'll understand what it really means to have a flesh form.
And he goes, computing. And he...
jizzing pants.
Yeah. But then, he makes... that scene with his wife is so long and so... It might be grosser than any other body horror thing in that movie, where these, like...
Well, yeah, we didn't talk a lot about the body horror. I guess we should just give a quick rundown of some of the kills. There's like... Okay, so... There's some weird stuff that happens with the girlfriend when she's in the chair initially. There's another time where a cop comes in to investigate the place, and his body just becomes like ripped inside out with like bones and stuff in the chair.
It's like those weird close-ups in like Hellraiser where it's like it grabs their flesh and rips, and it's like
right, and it's like it's someone's head on like a prosthetic body, and then you can see like the skin ripping and stuff like that. As like, there's a one point where a tech hand with claws bursts through someone's chest to show the AI killing someone, but it's like, whose hand was that? If you could make those hands. If he could make those hands, why did he ever do that ever again? Except to close that door one time. And it's clearly just like a puppet master's hand in a fucking glove.
And he brings that helicopter down onto the White House lawn and he kills everybody with it. That was pretty gross.
Oh,
with
yeah.
The blade of the helicopter.
Yeah. But it's like a weirdly practical effect because they couldn't CGI a full copter. And so they just have the helicopter land and then it's sort of like they tilt it forward.
Yeah,
with like
it just tilts around and like...
It tilts around and all the Secret Service guys are like, hey, what's that? And a bunch of people on a White House store and it just decapitates all of them and all their heads go like flying around the area. Yeah, that was really fucking crazy. And like, but there's also like, so the robot president agrees to spend 24 hours deciding, to get a better understanding of humanity, because it's like the robot has already won at that point,
right?
And they're just having this philosophical debate, and so like then the robot has like in the Lincoln bedroom has this like long romantic date with the first lady.
Yeah, it's
and
very.
They're talking about
she's
their
basically, she
first
looks like
date.
Barbara Bush, which is I thought you'd think they would like. Well, it should be like no offense to Barbara Bush, but they should pick like an attractive lady. If you're,
I thought it'd be like Annette Bening or something. Like
somebody.
But yeah, she's like it's like an older president and an older woman. I think it's supposed to be like sweet and grandparently, but like
it was like before The Notebook though. It was like this is like way before The Notebook, where it's like, oh, that's kind of nice. They're old and they're still in love. But even The Notebook, they have sex in the book and they don't have sex in the movie, so it's like no one wants to see it.
Yeah, but they really have graphic sex,
I know.
and you get to see, and like. There's a point where, well, first of all, they have this long, boring talk about like what they had. It's like, do you remember what we had on our first date?
Yeah.
You had the filet mignon, and you had tea and shallots. I remember.
And he remembers, and he sheds a human tear, which is like clearly.
How do I remember the human memory? The human brain sure is.
He did
amazing.
say that a lot. He said human. Like what?
Honey, what do you mean by human? Aren't we both human?
Yeah.
Why are you saying it now? I don't get it. And then they make passionate, vigorous love.
Well, he's a robot. He's a robot, so he's pretty good at it because he's just
he has rigid Icelandic sex. To be honest,
cold
because of his cold mechanical heart. Yeah.
Mechanical, but she. I mean, she's like she hasn't been laid like that in years, clearly, because she's really
like, oh, your Icelandic roots are coming through. Give me that whalebone, you husker.
I don't think that. I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, that didn't happen. But I'm just sort of imagining.
You're imagining Iceland people have, and that's probably what that probably is. Coldness.
Yeah, that's probably what it's like.
Yeah.
But like, oh, what I wanted to say earlier about Icelandic food is like, I was imagining that they would cut off a narwhal's horn and put a scoop of ice cream or Iceland cream, as they call it there, on the top, and use the narwhal horn as the cone. I think
I love that.
Really
I would. The thing is, I would eat a narwhal, but it's like I don't know if I could eat like a shamu or like a humpback.
Yeah, I could never eat a killer whale because those whales really wailed on them until they killed them up in Penetration Park.
Okay, all right. So essentially,
that's some Craig Finn for Neil specifically. Okay, so yeah, sorry. The old people have sex, and I want to say that there's a point where he's like he's making love to the first lady, and she in her orgasm. Light shoots out of her eyes and mouth as if she is like
becoming one also. Yeah.
But then like he accidentally transfers to the first lady.
Yeah.
And then Keanu runs in and just beats the shit out of the first lady.
Right. He's like, my plan worked perfectly.
But it's like, that was your plan?
Old lady.
And the president was there. It's like, I understood the whole time because of my advanced presidential thinking. I know that's not my wife. That's an AI.
Yeah, and he
murders
the first lady, and he's like, get all the electronics out of the room.
Get all the electronics out of the room. Down, and then the president has his own wife executed after we learned about their first date.
So he brings in the Secret Service, and he's like, come on, this is your job.
He has her put in the electric chair, and she transfers through the electricity into the room and kills all the guards in the room. Right. And then she becomes.
It doesn't end. It doesn't end. You're like,
it just
keeps
going.
End. Yeah.
And so he has to like pull a second lever on the electric chair room, which shuts all the power off, and then it's dead for good. Except at the very end, there's like a bird that flies by and lands on a power line, and you see a little spark in its eye. And
it's like, oh, good, a bird, and it like it does that. It does that weird. Does like that Looney Tunes zoom in, and they're like.
What's interesting is that in this one, it's a dove and not a parrot.
Yeah, it's weird. You think it'd be a parrot because it could talk, but I guess it doesn't really matter because what it's setting it up for is Matrix 2, Matrix 3. Spirit in the Software Reloaded, Spirit in the Software Resurrection, Spirit in the Software
Can't Stop, Won't Stop.
Remade, terrible remake.
So how would you rank this movie out of 64 cyberbucks? Like
out of how many cyberpunks?
Yeah, I said bucks, but punks is fine too. Yeah, let's just do 10. I'm sorry I keep doing these stupid numbers. How many out of 10? How would you rate this film?
Let me think about that for a second. I would say out of 10. I would say
I agree, Matthew. This movie was fine. Out of 10 possible points, I give it 6. 6. The mark of the
Oh
beast.
god, damn it. It's my AI answered for me. I'm sorry.
What? That's it? It sounds exactly like I couldn't tell the difference.
I know it's so good.
Wait, which one of you is the president, and which one do I need to soul kiss?
Which one do you shoot? You don't know because it's so
I
good.
don't know which one to shoot. I'm gonna have to shoot both of you.
Boy, it's awkward. But anyway, you're gonna have to deal with him all next week. So don't admit it.
I gotta figure out something for next week. Well, maybe we'll just not do a show. I don't know what'll happen. We'll figure something out.
We'll figure it out.
This has been Made Up Movies. If you have a suggestion for a fake movie that we can review on this podcast, go on to Twitter at MadeUpMoviesPod and shoot us the title of the fake movie and what the premise of the fake movie is. And you can also send that to us at MadeUpMoviesPod or MadeUpMoviesPod@gmail.com. We're on Anchor now, so that's interesting. Not that interesting, though, so that's all I have to say about it. And so, yeah, that's it. So thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Bye.